Alright, so I hope my mic is working. On. You have to let me know if it's not. Alright. Coffee Talk is on. I've actually already made my bulletproof coffee. Our furnace is broken, and it is just above freezing. So outside it says it's 35 degrees. So, yeah, thank God for space heaters. But, yeah, that shower was cold, and our electricity bill's impossible. But we have the heater guy coming this afternoon after I walk the dogs. It's gonna be scary because, like, he's gonna come in and see what the cats have done and what this place kind of looks like and smells like. And I'm like, shoot, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that stuff up. So I have to, you know, be realistic and know, like, just get the minimum done to where it's just not so bad. I'm not going to be able to make it spectacular, that's for sure. And I definitely want to focus on, you know, the whole plan of action and all that kinds of stuff. So, good news is, kind of a recap, yesterday I was able to pass the first part of the being a male woman or a mail carrier. I just got a text real quick. Yeah, I guess it's probably not that hard to pass that, though, because it's basically like personal characteristics and what would you do in certain situations, to where there's probably more than one right answer and they're just trying to find the right fit for the person. But part 2 is like the whole memory and you know, addresses and all that kinds of stuff. So I just have to make sure I'm not ADD me and, you know, not able to read and all that kind of, and focus and all that kind of jazz, you know, just totally ready to go. Definitely gonna have the bulletproof coffee before, because that is fuel for the brain right away, baby. So I have to take that before Saturday. I haven't really scheduled it because I'm like, the closest one is all the way downtown, which, like, 11 miles away doesn't sound like that far, but when you're going to downtown Kansas City, especially in, like, this worst part, and you don't have a car, you're just like, how do I get there? What? It's not open Saturday, and, it has to be done by midnight on Saturday, or I also have to go all the way to the Kansas side, pretty far south, all the way down to 435, which is a good, like, 35 miles probably. Without a car, I'm like, what? So I requested a closer site. So we'll get back to you in 3 to 5 days. That's when it's due, in 3 days. Wait, it's Wednesday? Yeah. So I don't know, I'm pretty pumped. I didn't go down the first part. I'm sure they're gonna hire a lot for the season, and it's kind of like my dream job. Alright, so I have 2 master's degrees. Whatever. I'm gonna be a mail woman. It's outside, and it's basically like, you know, task oriented, and I don't have to, like, deal with too much, like, ambiguity kind of stuff of, you know, working with my supervisor and always trying to be, like, pleasing them or whatever. You know, I'm just like, you know, going door to door, and shoot, that would be kind of cool, getting my little mail car on. But who knows? Who knows? Alright, so another thing to recap is, good news is that I hear that the fans number doesn't have to be so high to become a partner now. So I'm, like, far away. I've been doing this for over a year, every day. Like, I know I'm not consistent with Coffee Talk, which I really want to be. But sitting at a computer is hard for me. And talking. Like, really, I want to be mute and learn sign language. That's actually one of my close goals. Just because I know I don't pronunciate very well. It's hard for people to understand me. And I just like to actively communicate and engage to where I think, like, just speaking, I get mixed up in my words, and I'd rather not. And it's hard, like, I even have music on right now just because I'm so exhausted, sorry. And I just had to turn it, like, all the way down. And it's even Pitbull, basically. And I don't have sound on when I do yoga anymore. I have awesome soundtracks I could be playing, like Bluetooth speakers. But I'm not, like, I'm just, like, listening to the cars that go by on the highway, that soft sound or the wind, you know. So I'm not too sure what that's all about. But maybe I'm just trying to, you know, like, hear God and hear my inner voice, and that's just something I've lost. So it's a big thing for me to be actually talking on here. I'm like the biggest bully to myself, no confidence, and I always, I don't know, I don't get stage fright for doing this, but when I actually speak, I know it's more concrete. I'm more of an open box and letting you guys in than, you know, doing yoga outside, even though that's the time when I really like to share with y'all. The only thing I feel that I'm good at is yoga and teaching it, but right now, like, I gotta get a better thing, because doing yoga with this thing, like, connected to, it's not happening. So, look forward to that. I also need to, like, if this was actually my job and I was partnering, which would be sweet, I'd be, like, editing YouTube videos a lot more and actually putting, like, a lot of guidance on there, and great ways and tricks to do some really cool yoga stuff. So, right now I know it makes me feel a little better that the fan numbers lower, but I'm still so far from actually having good broadcasts or where I want them to be. I know that they could be much better, more structured, and more consistent. That's I'm going to, you know, focus on passing this UPS thing, not UPS, USPS exam, and having actually a day job. But also, like, this is, I consider, a really fun and good for me hobby. I can't consider this work. I'm not getting paid for it. I can't really consider walking dogs an actual job just because I don't get many. Like, today I have one, and that's way more than most times. So that means, like, normally I won't even be able to accept a job just because it's not within walking distance. Don't have the bike yet, and it's just kind of like, if it takes an hour to walk there, and then I'm walking the dogs for an hour back, I could be spending my time, like, with this, with, you know, trying to get this house decent, and with actually getting that day job. So, like, spend like a normal person, like, have a hobby, have a day job, and take care of things, and myself and my mom and everything. But right now I can't, like, afford crap, and it's really scary, just because, like, you're forced to do things to get by, and then you get really nervous, and you're always living like, furnace breaks down, you break the washing machine, the only actual food in the house is popcorn. I think there might be a little oatmeal, but, like, air pop popcorn. Might have mac and cheese cheap somewhere, but, like, man, I'm a, like, veggie kind of girl. I love vegetables, and house stuff, and coconut oil is almost out. It's my favorite. Hey, I got coffee, but I know that was with a gift card, so it's gonna run out soon. So anyway, there's the recap. That's pretty long-winded. I have the space heater on, which is why I'm, like, only in the long sleeve, but my hands are still ice cold. So we are gonna get the reading on. So the reading of the day, I like to do my book reviews, and reading is exercise for the brain. You gotta think of it that way. Whereas, you know, you're like, wasting time, you know. This website sends me pretty sweet books. It's called Blogging for Books, and basically you just have to write your opinion. It's like 250 words or something, so they say a book review, but it's nothing like you would do in school. It's just like, you know, your impressions of the book. And then you get to choose from your interests, like they give you some options, like books that cost $30. So, and they send you hardback covers, and you don't have to pay for them or send them back or anything. So that's pretty sweet. I wish I knew how to sell stuff online, because I'm not much of a second book reader. And the books that I get, like, are ways that I know I have to start making some money, and I have great ideas and no confidence. But I mean, the more I know, the more confident I get. So it's all about knowledge, I think. And I'm sorry about my site being, like, I have 3 screens. One that's completely broke, which is where the webcam is. But the screen is black, crack off. It's cracked and it's off. So, the laptop I know I got. Before I went to Portland grad school. Was it before Portland? No, before KU grad school. Yeah, been through a lot of schooling. You never know. But it's up and running. Got to be grateful for that. Oh, actually, the very first thing I've got to broadcast with, along with the recap, is, and this is like all on my safety kind of like action plan. So it's all colorful and waste a lot of time designing that. And I show it a lot of times, and it's on my website, what it looks like, but it's like the hourly action plan. So now I just gotta like follow through with it. And basically I get up to, yoga, the protein shake, I get the afternoon like power nap, and then like it goes out the window. So I don't ever do the second coffee talk, and I basically just started doing that second workout, which is fun. But when I'm like saying downhill, it's just like I get pretty mindless and just mess things up. So that's never good. I want to be productive the whole day. And so the gratitude, which is something that needs to be practiced every single day. That first off is basically just starting to believe it's possible that I'm going to be able to take care of myself and actually get a day job. So, ideally it is this, which is being like, the broadcaster, the yogi, having that consistent, like, workout experimentation. That's basically workout number 2 is always trying these new workouts. I'm a certified personal trainer through NASA, which is like the highest certification you can get. But I'm not working at a gym. I was working with my dad. He shot himself, and that's when we were working together at a gym. I don't want to go back to a gym because it's like I have a little PTSD going on to where I'll see him a lot, like by a treadmill. And obviously he's in heaven, but so I'm going to be a male lady instead. That would be a close second. That would be sweet. It's just, if it's my personality, outside, just always, it's like traveling kind of thing, just from the ADD in me. I also have a driver, which is basically a chauffeur. It doesn't fit me quite well, just because I'm shy at first, and I talk myself out of a lot of things that involves like meeting new people. So I would talk myself out of doing that job, even though they give you a pretty sweet car. But who knows who you're driving around? I mean, people get killed who are like, what's it called? Lyft drivers, that sort of deal. Uber. So, more realistically, it's being a UPS nail lady by day, and for fun and hopefully for money, the yoga coffee talk lady. So I say coffee talk just because my bulletproof coffee is super important to me. I use the NutriBullet, the first one that came out. But actually, my dad bought that for me. My lighting. That's my sad lamp, and it does show just how pale I am during the winter. I mean, it makes me look really white right there. It takes a little bit of time for the camera to adjust, but I don't know why it makes. Blah. Anyway, it's a light with 10,000 lux, which is basically the same as the sun, which is good for your brain, like that why our brain needs vitamin D. And talking about the PTSD and like being susceptible to depression, as well as to having my master's in psychology and knowing kind of what I need, then it's a good thing to have that light on. It's not a bummer that it makes it look a little better. That's possible. I mean, not that it's good. Whatever. Alright, so cross your fingers for me. Let's get that day job. Let's get this ultimate, but also in the meantime, to survive, I can do that too. Okay, so the book I went through the introduction, and the book is called The Startup Way. Basically, it's about entrepreneurship, and I want to start the business of party yoga, which is like, think of it, one word, PARTYOGA. Do not steal my thing, because I haven't, patented it or whatever. But I think it'd be pretty sweet for like kids, or for a work deal, like a retreat type thing at home. I also was thinking of the name like home body yoga, like, so to be a homebody, it's just, like being at home, you don't get out, and that's okay. You can learn to work out at home, and definitely learn to do yoga at home. That's where I do it. My studio, I consider, is my porch, and it's not mine, it's my grandma's. It's pretty sweet, or it could be a pretty sweet setup. I need to really fix her up, but I want to be able to teach people how to, like, fitness at home, and to do it together anywhere, at a park or whatever. So like homebody fitness, or homebody, or anywhere. Yeah. If you have a cool name for it, it's just basically like I would host teaching yoga, like a small group or a couple or kids birthday party. We do like a fun yoga session. We do like healthy snacks or whatever they want, makeovers, or that kind of bonding deal. If it's like work related, maybe like the whole stress relief teaching type deal, so it's like a teaching but also fun and bonding type deal thing. So you can think about it and give suggestions if you can. Anyway, I'm going to kind of like summarize the paragraphs as I go through this, kind of speed read through and get to the main points. But the introduction wasn't all that great. It just talks about how you always need to be changing in like the modern company and all that kind of jazz. So if something's working, it's like you have to experiment and try something different, because it's not going to keep working. Yeah, it's working now, but since like everything's always constantly changing, you have to too. So it's about like constantly taking these risks and all this kind of jazz. So I guess that'll be interesting to find out too, what they say about the whole risk taking, and when you know what to do or fall back on, go for the risks and all that kind of jazz. So first chapter is about like just respecting the past and inventing the future. So don't do what they did in the past, even though it worked, but learn from it, learn why and how to make it better. That's what you try. So it's that mindfulness concept, I guess. And this just starts off with him talking about how he like talked with the CEO of GE, that company, and how it's an old company, but it's not old fashioned. Like, they continue to change. And hey, thanks Dallas for becoming a fan. Sweet. But yeah, GE stays successful, and they've been successful, but they're not the same company that they were. And that's why their success has kept going. So, it talks a lot about getting ideas from the employees of the company. The CEO also talked to him about how management is always like getting new ideas and trying to impact the company as much as possible, even though it doesn't quite align with what's going on in the business. That they're like always open to new ideas, so that's cool. Yeah, here's a good kind of quote from summing all that up. The CEO of GE states that a modern company harnesses the creativity and talent of every single one of its employees. So it's not just from the CEO, not just from the board, but all this creativity is coming from being open to every employee. So, from the assembly line, which, is it GE that's somebody? There's some company similar to it that's really well known for starting that idea, the assembly line, and having that be really efficient rather than having one person do like lots of different tasks. It's having each person basically like master a single task and pass it on to the next person, just like following through, getting it built, getting it done much quicker than one person just like trying to learn everything, remember, and it's just pretty cool. Alright, talks about the uncertainty of the marketplace and how it's unpredictable and how it changes. And so you have to basically be really flexible and obviously you have to just consistently learn. So it's not enough to go to school and then follow like the business plan model that you learned all throughout. You can stop learning, you can just like go from that. No, that's consistently something that, okay, you've got a basis, basically what you've learned maybe in training or school, but and that learning doesn't stop there. It's consistent of like what's going on in the environment, where you are right now. That's cool. Mindfulness idea concept coming back in. Just always throwing its head in there, so it's the here and now. Hey, YouNow, shout out. But it's not about what somebody else has done or what somebody else knows. It's about you learning from everything, just every opportunity you get. Yeah, and how companies now are like adopting all the new kind of technology, smartphones. Every company now, you just kind of like, almost every company, you can put in like your phone, and they have an app for what they're selling or what they're all about and all that kind of jazz. So it's not enough just to have, I want to sell things, so I'm gonna have a store. No, you gotta have a website, you gotta have the radio ads, the TV commercials, the smartphone, all that stuff. So it's always about new growth and jumping over those barriers that are right there. Yeah, and that's cool because it's different than, or it's completely opposite of the whole Karl Marx idea that is the whole, dang it, now I forgot what that's called. We didn't want, I'm trying to think of a quote because I'm trying to think of the name. It's the opposite of capitalism. Not really the opposite, but it's a concept that's completely different than capitalism. It's they blacklist people. They did that during the Cold War. What is it? It was basically like from Russia, Karl Marx. Dang it. Maybe it doesn't say on here. But they were basically just like the means of production. It doesn't matter what the employees, like who's doing it. They're gonna just have it be done, and it doesn't matter who's doing it. It's just like the production of it. But it really does matter who's doing it, because like GE, that's where they're getting all their ideas and changing, and you know, people on the line, they see what's going on in the here and now too, and maybe have an idea of making it better, how to produce things. So that's pretty sweet. Son of a gun. Ugh, I got a text from my mom, sorry. I'm really hoping that, like, just a miracle happens and the furnace will turn on so we don't have to have that guy come over. It's gonna suck. We don't have any money. All that she was saying was clean up the piano. My mom has a double ear infection, fluid in her lungs, swollen neck and red throat, walking pneumonia. Gave her penicillin and Flonase. Pulled a bunch of blood out of her left ear. Well, that's great. Thank God she went through and got that taken care of. Sure hope that walking pneumonia isn't contagious. Anybody know? I think that there's two forms. Like, there's the bacteria kind of pneumonia that is contagious, and then there's the kind that is just caused by something else. Piece of junk phone. Anyway, back on topic. Marketplace is always changing. The management portfolio. Do you care about that part? Not really. Talks about the struggle with uncertainty, with the like traditional management tools. So why they struggle with uncertainty? Well, everybody does. Yeah, this isn't going to get a good review. See, I'm pretty much reading pretty fast. I'm letting you know the important stuff. Yeah, it's just like anybody's forecast. You don't actually believe, like, you can't believe it. You just have to basically be open to it and understand what you're going after, what you want, what the ideal is, and that's basically should be your forecast and always evolving. So, like, I always kind of wanted to have my own practice, and I'm a really good like coach, and so I thought, you know, I'll probably become a psychologist and have my own practice, but I can't stay sitting. So this is the longest time right now. I'm like, I feel that, like, get up and go, get out of here. So I'm gonna start yoga really soon, and so my ideal has changed, and it's basically about like broadcasting and connecting teaching y'all what I'm really good at, yoga, and hopefully learning from you. And, learning together. So I don't get out much at all. And I've had like a pretty unhealthy year, couple of years, losing my dad and my family and everything. So, and friends I cut off. So this kind of a great way to get support as well. So hopefully it's good for me and it's good for you. So I know I have a bunch of great people who are fans and hopefully consistent viewers. I see are on here a lot, and hopefully I don't know how long you guys stay tuned in for, so it'd be pretty sweet to have you stay interested. So I need to stay on topic. Yeah, forecast is a fantasy, but how can you tell the difference? Yeah, and it talks about like dealing with failure, to where like GE, that successful company, it talks about how, the main thing is failure is not an option. So if you're an entrepreneur, you don't see it as failure, and you don't like completely like take yourself out of the game and think that you have to change everything completely, and that something just didn't work. It's like something about that didn't work. You better, think about why it didn't, and maybe it's just like one little tweak and you run with it. And so it actually was successful, but there was a part that you had to know wasn't quite working for you. So, it's the why, I think, part. And also, like, if I can think of, my past, and, I think I've failed at being a successful personal trainer, about being a psychologist unlicensed by now, about this, like, if I think of myself a failure because I've been doing this over a year, that no, it's not that way. I am adapting. I'm taking the personal training skills and the experience and bringing it to y'all. If you have questions, if you want me to program something for you, I'm pretty experienced and knowledgeable in that area. Yogi, shoot, yeah, it is therapy right there for you. I don't care. I'm a trained psychologist, counseling. I don't need to take a stupid test to become licensed, because that's not the route I'm taking. I can, teach you guys yoga, and that can be way more powerful than a therapy session, or it is your therapy session. It's not all about the cognitive stuff, but it's about, the relay and the connection to your heart and soul. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I'm pretty much done with that chapter. I'm gonna, stay true and read the entire thing, but I'll do that kind of in my own time. But we got the main gist, and some good stuff. It's just about always being adaptive, and what you forecast is a fantasy, how you make it a reality. And if something doesn't turn out the way you want it to, it's not a failure. It's why and what do you want now, and just keep sticking to the guns. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Sticking to the dream, like honoring what you dreamed about yesterday, that still holds true today. It might change just a little bit, but you're going to stay true to yourself. That's not going to change that much. What's in your heart. So that was cool. Got the reading in. I was going to go over like the whole action plan with you, and that is still kind of in template mode, and I was going to like have that be part of the task that I do every day, is tweet that, just to hold myself accountable to doing that. Like, you guys know, like, what I'm doing by the hour, but right now it's just, I need to be flexible with it, still, so it's not that great. So later today, I'm getting to, study for the second part of the USPS exam that I take by Saturday. And you don't really study for the first part and the second part. You just have to be really familiar with it, and I don't want to waste my time going through all that. And basically, I don't want to say failing. I'll learn from it, but I know better. So I better put that to use, and I better, get a good concept map. I like to have things visual. Basically, it's a mind map. I use Xmind, and I have all that out to what I know, what to expect. My brain can just be like firing, and I can be like acing that test. Whereas if I don't, then I think that they have like a 90% failure rate. I didn't realize so many people wanted to be male. Not mailman, or, like the Seinfeld guy. Newman. That's not how Jerry does it. Newman. I don't know how he does it. But everybody wants Newman's job. It's kind of an eye-opener to me, even though I really want it. So, but I want this more. Way more. You guys are helping me out, so I better get that on, because then I get to have, actually, like, right now I gotta go pee, put some really warm clothes on, get out on my studio, get our yoga hour power on, flip those two words, and, really connect with God and be open and listen and just feel a lot better, because it always does. And then get my power shake in me with the chia seeds and the protein powder and that good jazz. And get to go walk 2 dogs. So it's only about a mile away. And I walk them about just around 2 miles, good 30 minutes. And then a good mile home. So it's a great way to make $20 and to get my steps in. But when I come back, that's when I gotta stick to my guns and get this place ready for the damn furnace guy. I gotta pee. Get ready for my mom to come home, get our house looking alright. It's destroyed. It's not really, partly, yeah. I could do better. So, and then we got, Coffee Talk number 2, where we're going to experiment with a new workout. I did TRX the other day. That's awesome to do. It's also kind of boring. So, I want to do something new, like a dance workout or something like that. That might be sweet. But I've been doing, MMA style workouts and all that. So, to start that up again and share it with you guys. I'm going to read some more and actually read a good book. And then I got Wednesday. Yeah, there's no really good TV shows on it. I got good stuff to catch up on. But I also have to get together a list of where I have gift stuff to where I can kind of get some stuff that's needed. I got to get back with Amber too. I want her to be my party yoga partner, but I have to have a good business plan presentation for her ready to go. So lots to do right now. All that matters is right now. Let's do some good yoga. Put all of yourself into it. Engage every single muscle and just let go of everything. So, yeah, it'll just take me a couple of minutes. I'm going to try to just keep moving, going with the flow, and keep moving fast. So, I'll be out there nice and warm. I'm going to steal my neighbor's electricity, hopefully. for a space heater outside, food, whatever. So, in a couple minutes, we're back on here with yoga. Do it. Alright. Thanks, guys.